Alrighty, time for our second mailbag show of the day. Not expecting a lot of questions on this one. The evening one is always much more quiet than the morning one, and I'm okay with that. Welcome to Stuff It, a fantasy basketball podcast brought to you by FanDuel, part of the Old Man Squad Network. I am Adam King. Find me at AdamKing91 on the social media front. Subscribe, please go and do that on YouTube and download on the audio platforms, Spotify, Apple. They're probably the two big ones. Not a lot to talk about from today. There was only 3 games. It was a pretty boring day of NBA basketball. 2 of the worst games you'll see this season. They certainly weren't good. The Lakers one, Lakers-Clippers was a little bit better, but those first 2 were just stupid. So even if we were breaking down the action, there wouldn't be a whole lot to talk about. So not expecting a ton of questions, as I said, but we'll see. We might get a few. We'll get some regulars. And let's start with Hinny Minnie, who always has a question. Is Klingon breaking out, or is it because of the players out? Breaking out, I don't know if that's the word I'd associate with Donovan Klingon. Look, he's looked a little bit better, let's say that, of late. There was the sort of the game that sticks in my mind is the one where he had a career high, or whatever it was, 22 points, 23 points. I'm just bringing up his box scores here so I can remember. 22 points. 22 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. So best game of his NBA career, and he was still benched down the stretch. That sticks in my mind. It worries me. But since then, I mean, he had an 8-8 game. That was a blowout, so don't really pay too much attention to that one. And then they beat the Bucks. He had 14 and 11 with a steal and a block. Breaking out, I'm not sure I'd put him in that category yet, but he's definitely looked better over the last, let's say, the last week. Just pulling up numbers here. Yeah, I mean, his value is so swayed because of those low volume categories. Look, I mean, he's a top 50 player. Basically, he's going to give you a double-double, 1.5 blocks. Efficiency can be an issue. He's not a sort of 600 guy. He's more down around that 50% range, which can hurt. And that's because he shoots so many threes for whatever reason. But no, look, he's certainly improved. So I'm not going to say that he's breaking out just yet, but I will say that he's been a lot better over the last sort of, couple of weeks. Anyway, Anthony Black can sustain his value. Unlikely. I know he was fantastic tonight, but is he ever going to shoot that well again? The first half he had 20... What did he have? 27 points, I want to say, at halftime. Hang on. Let me bring him up here. I'm pretty sure it was 27 at halftime. He barely missed. And then he finished with 31. So, and outside of that, he didn't do a lot. He had 1 steal, 1 rebound, 3 assists. So this was simply, for me, a really efficient shooting. And the fact that Jalen Suggs got ejected, that helped him as well because he started. Now, he didn't play the fourth quarter, nor did majority or all of their starters, I think, because of the nature of the game, and it was such a big lead. So it could have been a better night for him. In saying that, he has been serviceable of late, double digits in 6 straight games, 7 of the past 8. He's getting you sort of a steal maybe 1.2, 1.3 steals. Let's have a look last 2 weeks. So last 2 weeks, 16 points, not a lot else other than the 1.8 steals. Shooting efficiently, so he's shooting 53% during that period. I think once Banchero is back, and Jalen Suggs obviously won't get ejected every game, his value will subside. In saying that, I think he's a hold. I do think he's a hold at the moment. And then you reassess. You've got nothing invested in him, likely. You picked him up off waivers. So Current values are unsustainable. Rest of season value, possibly. And what is a trade offer that I would do for Edie and Cater? So trying to get them back. My team is Kaysen, Dyson, Assar, OG, Wemby, Gobert, Kalkbrenner, Klingon, Black, Cornette, Brandon Williams, Tari. So that's a beautiful 4-punt team there. Trying to get Edie and Cater. Yep, good fit. So chasing blocks and rebounds there. Who are your current bigs? Wemby, Gobert, Kalkbrenner, Klingon, Cornette. No one's buying Cornette. I guess if you're looking to sort of bring these guys in exchange for your current bigs, you could maybe look at moving off Gobert. So I would have Edie. If we're looking at your bigs, I would have Edie over Gobert. I would have him over Kalkbrenner. I would have him over Klingon. I would have him over Huff. So pretty much he would be the second best big if you could land him. So even if you were to move a couple of those guys, I don't know, they would be I'd sort of look to move Gobert and Klingon. Maybe you could do that with the way Klingon's playing. You could look at those. I don't think anyone's going to buy Huff. No one's buying Tari Eason at the moment. I mean, you could try and sell him off, but I don't think anyone's super interested. Is John Collins still a hold in 14-team leagues? It's 14 teams probably. 12 teams, I think we can probably move on. He hasn't really made the most of this opportunity that he's been given, and now that Kawhi is back, that opportunity will start to fade. Obviously, Derek Jones is still out for quite a while. And look, Collins was better today. I think he have 17 points or 18 points, but no defense. Let me have a look and pull up his averages, because I know his defense is basically non-existent at this point. So for the season, he's at 11.5 points, 5 rebounds, 208th ranked player. I think he probably gets better than that, but his ceiling to me is like top 150, top 140, based on what we've seen. So in a 14-team league where you're looking at 180 players, he's borderline. I think you're probably looking to keep anyone inside the top 130, 140, which then gives you sort of 2 streaming spots. So he's borderline. I think you could make a case for him being a hold just because he is starting at the moment, and the minutes are pretty good. He played 34 today or last night, wherever you are. So the minutes to me would probably warrant a hold at this stage. Is Dylan Harper a pickup? Questionable tomorrow, I think, isn't he? Look, if you've got an IR spot, I don't mind it because Steph Castle is out. And, I mean, we saw, to me, Dylan Harper was arguably the most impressive rookie during the first 2 weeks of the season. And we had some impressive rookies. So, look, maybe Steph Castle is still another 1 to 2 weeks away. I think Wemby is probably another couple of weeks away. Fox is back, so that obviously hurts Harper. But I think he'll be first guard off the bench. I mean, who else are they bringing off the bench in front of him as a guard? No one at this point. I don't mind, actually. Thank you for bringing that to. I saw he was questionable. I was doing the injury reports this morning, but I didn't then go and add him. I might go and see if he's available anywhere. Actually, I'm gonna refresh that now while I'm recording, and then I'll go and check my lineups. So maybe absolutely. And thank you, Guinea Mini. Yes, I appreciate you watching. And these shows, especially, like these ones, are always, well, not always, but they're often a lot quicker there aren't as many people. Sometimes Chad pops in, but he's not here. Shining Knight sometimes pops in, but yeah, I understand it's probably the middle of the night for a lot of people. Even here in Australia, it's getting late in the evening. So that's all the questions. I'm going to quickly have a look, though, at the where are we? Let's look at the lineups just quickly for tomorrow, because we do have 9 games after only 3 today. So let's quickly run through any streaming. 9 games streaming wise is probably look, your lineups are relatively full, I would say. 6 to 7 games usually means you can stream once you get above 8. In most leagues, most teams will find it harder to stream, unless of course you have injuries. Then it's a lot easier to stream. So Hinny actually losing block. Yeah, well, you've got Wemby out. Kalkbrenner has been a little bit quiet lately. Gobert, I don't see him as an elite shot blocker anymore. He's like 1.2, 1.3. Huff's been decent. Kling's been decent. But yeah, that's if you're looking to add those players, they'll help, obviously, with the block numbers. All right, let's look at the games tomorrow. Detroit at Boston. Is that an early one? It is. Slightly early. 5 p.m. Eastern it starts, so that's 9 a.m. here in Australia. So I'll have to make sure I'm in the office by 9 so I can watch along. Streaming-wise, both teams relatively healthy. Nemeas Cater is out, so Luka Garza, I guess, would be the ad if he starts. But we saw in the last game it was Josh Minor. If you want to take a flyer on anyone, it'd be one of those 2 players, I think. The Knicks, they travel to Charlotte. Mitch Robinson is playing, so your Yabusele sort of stream that's gone out the window. They're pretty healthy other than OG Anunoby. I mean, Landry Shamet, I guess we count him as a piece of what they were doing. But, yeah, McBride, Jordan Clarkson, we know the story there. For the Hornets, all of those injured guys are back. LaMelo, Brandon Miller, and Kalkbrenner are all cleared to play. So no real new injuries. Colin Sexton, that means he probably fades away into the background a little bit until LaMelo misses another game. Diabate, I'd be holding him. If with Kalkbrenner coming back, just keep an eye on waivers to see if Diabate is dropped. The Timberwolves, they play the Thunder. Timberwolves are fully healthy. The Thunder, Shea is questionable, so that is a big one potentially. He rarely misses games. If he is out, I don't really think there's an ad because it's probably AJ Mitchell, and he's already rostered everywhere. So I think maybe it's just Casey Wallace does a bit more. Lou Dort will have to do a bit more. So look, Isaiah Joe, I guess, if you need some threes. But Aaron Wiggins would be the other one. He is out as well. Milwaukee, they travel to Miami. For the Bucks, Giannis is questionable to return. So obviously if he comes back, Bobby Portis, Kyle Kuzma, they lose value. I would be holding Kuzma, though, because he will still start. Portis, look, hold him, I guess, and just see what happens. But he could trend towards being a drop. For the Heat, Tyler Hero will play. So he's obviously, they'll manage him a little bit. He will play. Surprisingly, Norm Powell is probable. I certainly didn't see that coming. I was expecting a couple of weeks here. So that's great if you've got him on your fantasy team. But just be aware, I mean, a groin, we know the story here. A groin strain, a hamstring strain, players play through this injury and then they end up aggravating it and missing a month. So I hope that's not the case here. Because I have Powell on a couple of teams. Wiggins, Jaquez, Jovic, Drew Smith, they're all questionable. They're all sort of borderline guys anyway. I mean, well, no, Wiggins and Jaquez are rosterable. Jovic, Drew Smith, very back end. Pacers, they play the Raptors. No new injuries for the Pacers. Jay Huff is our streamer there. For the Raptors, no RJ Barrett. So... yeah, I mean, I guess you're looking at a little bit more from Jacoby Walter. Grady Dick might have to do a little bit more. No one really jumps off the page there for me, though. Jamal Shed played well in that last game for them. The Grizzlies, they take on the Pelicans. For the Grizzlies, Zach Edey is questionable. So he's been listed as questionable with a migraine. We didn't have a lot of clarity on what his injury was, but seemingly he just had a headache, which would explain why we didn't see anything on Twitter or anything about him taking a knock to the head. There was nothing mentioned about concussion. So hopefully this was just an onset of a migraine, and that's why he sort of was just ruled out. And he's back. I hope so. And with him back, Jock Landale, who a lot of people probably went and added, is a drop, unfortunately. For the Pelicans, we want to keep an eye on what they do with Derek Queen and Jeremiah Fears after what we saw 2 days ago. I'm hoping it was just as I've said on other shows, a perfect storm where Misi and Alvarado were just playing really well and they were winning. So not making any rash decisions there, dropping Fears or Queen. Let's see what that looks like tomorrow. In terms of Alvarado and Misi, if you went and added them after what they did in that game, let's see what they do tomorrow. I feel like they'll trend towards being a drop, though. The Spurs, they play the Blazers, as we just talked about. Dylan Harper is questionable to return. Worth just grabbing, and let's see what his role looks like. Actually, I want to have a look at what were his minutes to start the season, because we had no Fox, but we had Castle, so they're sort of a one-for-one replacement in terms of the role that they were playing. Dylan Harper was 23, 26, 29, 27, 25. So he's going to be limited because he is coming off a calf strain. He's been out for, what are we at tomorrow, the 27th? So he's been out since the 2nd of November. So we're looking at about 3 weeks that he's been out, which would mean it was only a grade 1. But yeah, his numbers were good. So if he can push back up to 25 minutes in the next week, that probably makes him a rosterable player until Steph Castle is back. Cornette, fine if you want to hold him until Wemby's back. He's been pretty disappointing. Sohan and Keldon Johnson are our other guys there. For the Blazers, Shaden Sharp is questionable to return as well, off a calf strain. Now, he hasn't been out for long at all, so it's obviously not a calf strain, because if it was a strain, he would be out for a minimum of 2 to 3 weeks. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with him. With Klingon playing really well, Rob Williams, stream him in, I suppose, if you have a spot and you're just looking for rebounds and blocks. Phoenix, they play the Sacramento Kings. Let's have a look here. Mark Williams will play. He was managed in that last game. Colin Gillespie, Jordan Goodwin are both holds at the moment until Jalen Green is back. Ryan Dunn is out, as is Grayson Allen. So we hold Gillespie, we hold Goodwin, we hold Brooks. Try and sell Brooks if you can, and hold Royce O'Neal. For the Kings, God knows what they're going to roll out. Keegan Murray could be viewed as a sell high, but I really just hope this is the new norm for him. Westbrook, if you just need some stats, you can give Westbrook a look. Schroeder is questionable. I guess if he's out, Malik Monk and Russell Westbrook both probably just play a bit more. I was intrigued by Maxime Reynaud, but he hasn't played much at all, so I'm going to go ahead and drop him. I've only got him in one team, and I'll have a look at. I feel like the team I've got him in might be my roster might be full tomorrow anyway, so maybe I just hold him, leave him on my bench, and see what he does tomorrow. Final game is the Rockets playing the Warriors. For the Rockets, we know that Tari Eason is still out. We know that Kevin Durant is out for the second straight game. That's personal, so he will be back by all accounts for the next game. So Reed Shepherd will probably start again, I would assume. He's rostered anyway, so nothing to see there. Aaron Holiday played well in the last game. If you just need some cheap guard stats, feel free to give him a look. Steven Adams is also out, so Clint Capella, if you need cheap big man stats, he's worth a look. And for the Warriors, Pajemski, Healed, they're probably our stream guys for points and threes. They don't do a lot else. And really, there's no certainty there at all. All right, we'll wrap up. A couple more questions, though, while I was going through all of those lineups. Since we don't have many people. All right, another question. What do I think of Reed rest of season? Do I think he can try... Do I think that you can try Brandon Williams and Anthony Black for Reed Shepherd? Yeah, try it, sure. Now is the time to try and sell Anthony Black. So, yeah, I think that's a great trade if you can pull it off. Would I trade Mobley and Pajemski for Rollins, Ingram, and Bain? Yeah, I think I would. Pajemski is not even a 12-team guy for me. So you're really trading Mobley there for 3 top 50 players at the moment. So, and I like Mobley, but yeah, that's some pretty good depth that you're adding to your team there. Would I drop Ivy for Grayson Allen? Well, Allen's injured at the moment, so you would obviously be getting nothing from him. I'm trying to hold Ivy where I can, especially if you stashed him. If you just picked him up off waivers, then whatever. But if you've been stashing him, I would hold. I'd try and give him another week, because I think if he can get back to 26 minutes and starting, he's probably going to be a hold. But if he's going to hover in that 22-minute range and they're going to play Duncan Robinson a bit more, then yeah, probably I'd be okay with moving on. Do I pick up Vassell or Dillon? Well, I'd go with Vassell because he is definitely playing. If you need to make that decision now, Dillon Harper could also play 16 minutes. Coming off a soft tissue injury, there's almost no way that he plays his normal allocation of minutes. So you're probably looking at teens, high teens, best case scenario, where Vassell is starting and playing big minutes. So Vassell is certainly a lot safer for tomorrow. All right, that'll do. A nice quick one tonight. That'll be good. My wife will get to see me. And I'm going to go and check where Dylan Harper is available in my leagues. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I will be back with the Friday recap show. I think that'll be my next show. I think doing a mailbag with Josh Lloyd at 2:30 Eastern on Thursday, which is Thanksgiving. So there's no games Thursday, but I believe we're still doing the mailbag show because it's not Thanksgiving here. It's just a sad day for us with no basketball. So we'll still be doing that mailbag at 2:30, I believe. I might even do another show just because there's no games on. I might be able to come up with some content. Not sure what that'll be, but I'll have a think about it. All right, I'm going to get out of here. You all get out of here. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I'm Adam King. This has been Stuff It, a fantasy basketball podcast. We are done.